books that I read in the month of September. So the first book that I read is The Prophet of Yonwood by Jeanne DuPrau. I don't have it with me because I left it in the UK. I read this right at the start of the month. It is a middle grade book. This is a prequel to the rest of the series. The first 3 books, I absolutely loved them. I thought they were really sweet, but also introduced some really important and big topics in an age-appropriate way for younger readers. The main 3 books are set in the far future. There's been an apocalyptic event and a lot of humanity are now living in this underground city called Ember. We follow 2 characters called Luna and Dune as they essentially free the citizens of this city from the underground world where they're beginning to run out of resources and then now approaching the point where they're going to start struggling to survive. So I won't say too much more about the main kind of bulk of those books, but I really enjoyed them, and so I was quite keen to read this prequel to see how much more information it would give. One of the main things I really liked about that main series is that although it is targeted at younger readers, it really teaches them some really important lessons about what it means to live in our world today by reflecting on what these communities have to do in order to survive and how they interact with each other. And I thought those lessons were really important but also really accessible to those young readers. With this particular book that is set in kind of more present times, we follow a young girl called Nikki. Her great-grandfather has just passed away and she goes with her aunt to go help her clear out this house and prepare it to be sold. She lives in a big city and this is a much smaller town, and it's just basically her interactions with the people that live here. She has come with her aunt because she intends to try to persuade her not to sell this house because she thinks it would be lovely for her if she was to move and live somewhere more rural. She's really not enjoying living in the city. It was an easy enough read, and similar to the rest of the City of Ember books, I was able to get through it fairly quickly. However, I don't think I enjoyed this quite so much. One, because it doesn't give an awful lot more information about the kind of how the City of Ember came about. It's very separate, and the only connecting thing is that we do know Nikki will eventually grow up to be one of the people that starts living in this underground city whenever this apocalyptic event takes place. I think part of the reason that I didn't enjoy this one as much as the rest was that I didn't quite get what lessons it was trying to teach, especially because it is aimed at younger readers, and I think maybe I was comparing it a bit too much to the rest of the series. I'm glad I read it. I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend it. I'd be more than happy to recommend the main 3 books. The second book that I read is The Spirit Level: Why Equality is Better for Everyone. So this is a non-fiction book written by Richard Wilkinson and Kate Pickett. I thought this was a fantastic book. It's a little bit difficult to get through just in terms of the writing because it is more academic. It basically talks about how lots of different problems that affect us as human beings can be explained by inequality within our societies. How inequality can affect quite a wide range of things, from teenage pregnancies to the prevalence of heart attacks. It explores what it is about inequality that means these things are more likely to occur. It uses evidence from quite a lot of different countries, and it also explains this evidence in a really nice, clear way. I really liked this book. I thought it covered some really important topics, and it also tries to introduce some solutions to the problems that it raises. The third book that I read is God Emperor of Dune by Frank Herbert. So this is the 4th installation in the series. I'm really enjoying them so far. They are really quite hard to get through, especially the first one, because Frank Herbert just jumps straight into this world using lots of new ideas and concepts, and also because he's made up the words to describe them, it takes a little while to get into. So it took me, I'd say, the first half of the book to really get into the world. The second and third book were okay. I didn't like them as much, but I am glad I got through them to get through to this one. I'd say this is my favourite one so far, besides the first one, but I think the first one is the only one that I'm going to go back and reread. The main reason I think I'm going to reread the first one is because there was so much I didn't understand as I was going through it that first time, and I'm much more immersed in the world now. I understand a lot more of the language and the words that are used and the ideas, and I think it'll be such a different experience reading that first book for the second time. I don't want to say too much about what happens in God Emperor of Dune, because I think from the very beginning this would give a lot of spoilers about what happens in the previous 3 books. But I will say that this follows the son of the main character in the first one, and I really enjoyed it. Oh, I forgot to mention, so for Dune, the main reason I started reading the whole series is there was a movie coming out about the first book. I think it was meant to come out last year, but it's actually coming out this month. So I'm really looking forward to watching that, and that was the main reason that I started reading the whole series in the first place. The final book that I read in September is The Crane Wife by Patrick Ness. So I'm slowly planning on making my way through Patrick Ness's books. The only book of his I've read before is The Knife of Never Letting Go, which is part of the Chaos Walking series. I remember really enjoying it. I don't really remember much about it, but I do plan on going to reread that whole series at some point. But yes, I did read The Crane Wife. I really like this. It's a very sweet book. It's got quite a lot of elements of magical realism. We follow our main character, who is called George Duncan, and we also follow his daughter, whose name I have forgotten. What's his daughter called? So his daughter is called Amanda. So we follow both of them intermittently. The book starts off when George wakes up in the middle of the night as a result of a noise that he's heard, and he finds a crane in his garden with an arrow through its wing. So he rescues this crane and takes the arrow out, and the crane flies away. The next day, a lady called Kumiko comes into his shop, and so begins a relationship with her. I thought it was a really beautiful book. Don't know why I only gave it 3 stars. I might give it more stars now that I'm thinking about it in retrospect. I think while I was reading it, it didn't have as much of an emotional impact on me, but now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I might up it. I'll think about it. I particularly liked Amanda's character arc in the book, because I think she really develops. She really doesn't like herself as a person, so this affects the way that she's able to interact with others, including her co-workers, and while she was in a relationship, her ex-husband. She's very blunt and speaks her mind quite freely, and often has quite negative views, and others don't tend to appreciate this because they find her a bit harsh. I like it because towards the end of the book she really does grow and begin to love herself, and even those harsher parts of her personality, and she just embraces who she is as a person. I love that process that she went through to gain self-acceptance. I'm not going to really spoil too much more about the book, but I would recommend it, and I'd say definitely worth a read. So I'm just about to start reading Cory Doctorow's Down and Out in the Magic Kingdom. I don't really know too much more about it. I know it's set in Disneyland and set sometime in the future when kind of there's now a cure for death. If you'd like to know more on my thoughts about that once I finish reading it, then do stick around. Thank you for watching. Bye.